Hi, everyone. I'm Ari. I'm the co-founder of OpenOrigins. So what is OpenOrigins? Well, OpenOrigins is a trust layer for online content for both human and AI models. What's the problem we're trying to solve? Well, fabricated content is threatening our shared understanding of reality, which means we will no longer be able to discern between what's real and what's fake online. This isn't just a problem for, if we look at the stats, 34 million synthetic images are created each day, and of those, 63% of deepfakes cannot be identified by humans right now. That number is going to reach 100 extremely quickly, as we've seen by the exponential growth curve of AI. Misinformation has become the #1 risk to society in almost every country. And this is not just a problem for humans, it's a problem for AI models as well. AI models need high-quality human data to train their models and make them better. And scraping data is becoming much harder when synthetic content is populating the internet. It's a snake eating its own tail. So what are we doing right now for this? Well, we lack long-term existing solutions. Deepfake detection is not sustainable. There's only so many pixels on a screen. So as detectors begin to find flaws in AI models use those flaws to train their next model. This is an arms race, and there's only one winner. Organizational trust is fragile. When speaking to the AP recently, they noted that the biggest fear of their photo editors right now is waking up in the middle of the night, getting a story on their desk from a source, and it being a synthetic story. And image forensics is neither scalable nor future-proof. Although right now it's quite responsible, as AI gets better and metadata is easier to mimic, this practice is going to get much harder. So what we believe in is content provability. The ability to prove content's origin points so we know it's real. This is what we call provenance. And provenance is important for many industries. AI models need verifiable sources so that they can train their models on high-quality data. News organizations need ingest that they can trust, but they also need to secure their archives against threats of disinformation. And evidence collection from governments to insurance companies to financial services need to have robust safety mechanisms to ensure that they're getting real evidence and not synthetic or fabricated evidence. So we believe there's only one solution to this, and that's a decentralized approach to trust. Nobody should hold the keys to trust in our world. It should be held by the network. So we've built a scalable blockchain that addresses this problem. We have three core technologies. The first is secure source, and I'm going to try to run some new demos today, so we'll see if they actually run, but we'll see. Secure source is a technology that's a camera SDK implemented in iOS, Android, and DSLR cameras, and it allows individuals to pick up their phone and take photos that are verifiably real at the point of capture. If we look at the demo on the side, this is a regular camera flow any user could use. When they take a photo, they're essentially capturing all of the metadata associated to their phone, attesting it with the secure enclave of a camera, and then immediately hashing it to our blockchain cryptographically and perceptually. This means we have all of the information secured on-chain, and we can verify that this photo was in fact taken at the time, place it said it was, and that everything in that photo is intact and unedited. But importantly, we go one step further. We create a 3D map of every single photo instantaneously when you take it, so we can also identify this object is of a 3D space. This is highly important in a world where high-quality screens can easily create picture-of-picture attacks, and that's something that we've been working on. So this is an example of a picture-of-picture. As you can see on a 3D map, it's flat. So it's easy to tell when things are actually 3D objects and not just pictures of pictures. And we also have archive anchoring. This is working with media companies to secure their archives. We essentially create individual fingerprints for each piece of content in their archives and secure it to our blockchain. This means we have a point of origin for every single piece of content in their archives. If you see this over on the side, this is our dashboard. You can see all of the pieces anchored within the dashboard. This is a demo environment. And if you click on one of the demos, you can see the anchored piece of media and all the associated data that have been given. This is pretty limited, but it can be expanded to basically every single piece of metadata associated to a phone or to the archive itself. And then finally, we have our AI marketplace. Working with the second largest video archive in the UK, ITN, we're building an AI marketplace where we can responsibly license data for AI training that's high quality and human proven. This can realize immense amounts of resources for news organizations that often struggle, especially in an environment where they're having a lot of the views pulled from them onto general searches. So this is a nice way of realizing new revenue for amazing amounts of content created by news organizations. In all, this creates the trust layer of OpenOrigins. So human-proven content, all on-chain, from secure source to archive anchor, and then the output, viewers who can trust the content they see, and AI marketplaces where AI companies can buy content and license content that is high quality and proven. So what we believe in is verifying the content itself so you can decide on what you trust. If you see on the left, we have a verified piece of content with a depth map. Now you know that that happened in the place and time it says it did. On the left, or right for you, what you see is a picture of the Pope, which is obviously not verified. It wouldn't appear in our search because it doesn't exist. And we go one step further with perceptual hashing. So perceptual hashing is a secondary hash on top of our cryptographic hash, which means we can actually track modifications. So we have an original photo, and then I've made this hyper-realistic sun in the photo I've drawn myself. And as you can see, we're still able to identify the photo and track it back to the original photo within our database. So we're able to find photos on the internet that have been scraped of their metadata, that have been compressed and modified, and we can still find the original image. So what have we done so far? Well, we've secured 2 petabytes of historical news content in the UK. We've launched our AI training marketplace, actually was launched this week with ITN, so that data is now ready to be licensed. And we're working with leading news organizations with secure source technology during the UK elections. We've worked in previous elections, and we'll be working in the US elections as well. And this news article actually was published 2 days ago. It is highlighting our ITN deal that will help protect their archives against the threats of AI. So that's the global trust layer of OpenOrigins. Thank you.
Thank you, Ari. Now for our judges.
Thank you, Ari. First of all, either you make to the winner of this competition or not, I really hope you make it. This is a very important company for our time. Secondly, I have a couple of people I want to connect you with who can really help your business, so find me after this session.
Of course, very happy.
My question, I have 2 questions I'd like you to clarify. Number one, can you explain the choice to choose to build your own permissioned chain instead of use a very highly scalable public chain? Number 2, why you wouldn't consider a 2C business model? Because in my view, I think a few dollars a month subscription fee, et cetera, for individuals be able to verify. It's a great service, but also you can collect a lot of data.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. As to the first question, right now we're built on essentially Bezu with a custom consensus algorithm. And the reason we built in this way is because it's transaction-free, so we don't have to pay for any of the transactions. It's cost negative, which is beneficial for our first use cases that don't necessarily require a permissionless model where you can vet the blockchain externally. It also allows us in our current model using our custom consensus algorithm, robust round robin, to scale to 10,000 nodes, which is highly beneficial to our customers. But we do plan on shifting permissionless, building a Cambian blockchain, or algorithm, sorry. And that within that model, we can scale to hundreds of thousands of nodes. So the goal there is to actually shift over the next year to a permissionless model and shift away from essentially what we're building now, which is a lot of our own content and kind of moving to partnered content. And sorry, your second question, I actually missed it.
Second question, why you wouldn't choose for 2C business model as well, in addition to serving media companies?
Yeah, B2C. Yeah, so this is just because of resourcing right now. So we're focused on B2B because it's where we can gain a lot of credibility quickly. So if we work with news organizations, they have public faces, and they're also symbols of trust in society already, and we're trying to maintain that trust marker for them. The goal would be to look at either building an infrastructure for B2C companies to build on top of us, which we're very excited by potential partnerships there. So we've already worked, for example, with the Numbers Protocol and election coverage in both Taiwan and India, and we've built essentially a white-labeled B2C app with them that both mints our blockchain and theirs. So it's able to build kind of a trust and consensus multi-chain.
Cool. Yeah, great presentation again. Thanks for answering some questions yesterday on gatekeepers and go-to-market. I think what would be helpful is, as you look forward, call it 1 year and then 3 years, what are the major milestones that you're trying to hit, specifically from the go-to-market perspective?
Totally, yeah. So over the next 1 year, we're really focused on archives. So we want to make sure that we basically implement our technology in as many archives as possible. So we're focusing on, obviously, news archives as a main, or media archives as a main driver. A lot of the investors we have been talking to within this round, and we're looking to lead this round, have immense connections into both the US and UK media scene, and that's on purpose. It's because that's our entire plan for this year. And we also want to basically scale this blockchain to a permissionless model. Over the next 5 years, we essentially want to launch the permissionless blockchain and have other builders building on top of our trust infrastructure. This goal is to essentially create that bedrock for builders to build on top of. And that's also where the AI model marketplace comes in. We want it to be a plug-and-play marketplace for media companies so that they can effectively get transparent pricing on all of the content they would like to acquire. So any startup or research lab can take a small chunk of an archive that they wouldn't have had access to, and any archive can monetize themselves in a new way, which right now archives are cost centers, and we want to make them profit centers for a business.
Okay, thank you, Ari. Thank you.